because otherwise you've completely demoralized the team and the player and probably a way forward going into next season. It didn't work. And at any rate, if the Raptors aren't good enough to beat the Cavs, it's because they're not good enough to beat the Cavs. To say like, well, right, we need to try something else. No, you're not going to get it done without Rosen. And now you've lost Derozan. There's no coming back from this. At a certain point, you've got to play country hardball, you know? Like the pitcher throws 100 miles an hour. He's facing the home run hitter. You don't try to beat him with your third best pitch, some off-speed slop to try to trick him. You got to challenge him with the heater. And he might hit a home run. You know, like that just might happen, but at least you lose with your, giving yourself the best possible chance you have. And Derozan is their best player. So dance with who brung you. It may just be, and in fact, it quite obviously is the case, you're simply not good enough. That doesn't mean you start to do this stuff, because Stephen A., it's not just about now, it's about forward. Did you see a way forward with Derozan on this team?
Well, let me answer the question, because you're asking a bunch of them without the baseball analogies, by the way. Here's the deal. DeMar DeRozan, Dwayne Casey didn't just speak. Dwayne Casey did not just speak about his offense. Dwayne Casey spoke about effort. He spoke about defensively, what he was doing defensively. He talked about how, yeah, there's going to be games when you don't miss shots, when you don't make shots. But there are other things that you can do to make yourself effective and productive. So if the coach elects to sit down his star player, who he paid $139 million to, who's led the team in scoring and led the team all year long, and he's never done this before, and we want to, in the same breath, recognize the greatness of Coach Dwayne Casey, who, by the way, if he were to be fired, would have another job inside of a week, by the way. Let's be clear about what he is saying here and be fair to this man. His hand was forced because he's looking at his star, who, by the way, Max, you have to make up your mind about. If LeBron is so great and he's so awesome and he's so sensational in so many ways, is it possible that he might have stripped and just snatched the heart out of the other star's chest and rendered him so helpless and so defeated that it's possible that Dwayne Casey might have been doing DeRozan a favor by taking him to the bench, because he might have been embarrassing himself by the manner in which he was playing on both ends of the floor. It is an occasion, and I would challenge both, and I'm not challenging, I don't mean challenge as in to say I'm refuting it, but our challenge in terms of asking the question to Jalen Rose, Chauncey Billups, and Paul Pierce: has there been a time where you have witnessed a particular star in a league get so thoroughly annihilated in so many facets that a coach actually did them a favor by coming to their rescue and putting them on a bench so they wouldn't subject themselves to more abuse?
I think that's a good, well, it's not, I think it's a good question you're asking. Maybe he actually did DeRozan a favor. But then what we're really saying is Toronto simply can't beat Cleveland. And you and I have been, I picked Toronto. And I picked Toronto because I thought they were just a better, more well-oiled machine on both ends of the floor. But the issue with Toronto, if there was going to be one, was always, I mentioned it, they play so well all game, and then in critical moments they go too much ISO, and Lowry and DeRozan simply aren't good enough to get it done. They're good, but not good enough. And you and I have been debating in the past when you use the word special with DeRozan. I think DeRozan is an all-star, but I think that's all he is. He is a classic four-star player. If he had an outside shot, he'd be better. He doesn't, period. He does not have the ability to consistently make shots from the outside. It changes how effective he can be as a player. So does that factor into the psychology of it all? Is he a little easier to stop as a result? Yes. Stephen A., he's simply not when you made your pick. The best player on a championship team.
It should have when you made your pick. You going around the corner with all of that. I came right at you before the series began, and I said, LeBron demoralizes these guys. Collectively, they fold against him, and it starts with DeRozan. That's the kryptonite, unlike any other team, and that is exactly what has happened.
Yeah, good shot. They might get swept tonight in front of the Cavs home crowd. That game, 8:30. Coming up, guys, Draymond Green said he couldn't sleep after the Warriors' Game 3 loss to the Pelicans, so he had to hit up KD late night. Find out what he said next. And the Sixers embarrassed themselves on Saturday night in more ways than one. The fellas break down if the process is broken. First Take, just getting started.
I'm not this way because I'm on camera.